And we are also talking about, how should we do it? Hello, my beautiful blossoms, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, and here we talk about art, design, entrepreneurship, or actually workapreneurship, because that is a word that I made up and I'm sticking by it. It's when you have a full-time job, but you're also an entrepreneur. So now you're officially a workapreneur. It's a whole different animal. And makeup. All four things are something that I'm super passionate about. I hope you're super passionate about some of them. If you are, do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when I post videos. I post videos twice a week on Mondays for our Makers and Makeup Monday, which is when we talk about a life of an inspiring creative, and on Fridays, which is when I do a makeup look or an inspirational video, and sometimes there's bonus if I have enough help with editing videos, because let me tell you, not so good, but a fast learner. I just did a video about one of my favorite artists. I did the part 1 video for Maria Primachenko, and she is a Ukrainian artist, which I love. And I had this look that I created with the little blue and the little gold, and I really liked it. And I was like, I really don't want to let this look go to waste because it's late. There's nowhere to go. I'm stuck in the house. And then I got inspired, and I'm like, let me talk to you guys about things that may inspire you as a creative person. And again, when I talk about creativity, I don't necessarily talk about, being an artist, being able to draw or to paint or to sculpt. Creativity is thinking outside the box, having your own unique spin on things, and looking at things from a very, very different perspective. So that to me is creativity. Are some artists creative? Yes. Are some creatives artists? Yes. But they do not necessarily have to be one. So I kind of modified my look a little bit. I had a really, really nude lip before, but I put on one of my favorite red lipsticks, and I'm actually going to do a video about my favorite red lipsticks for my skin tone. And this is this Yves Saint Laurent red lipstick, and look at that pretty packaging. It is such a pretty red, and it has an amazing taste. It literally, when I put this lipstick on, it threw me back, took me by the hair, threw me back to when I was much younger. I was like maybe 15, and I used to get these little tiny red lollipops from a drugstore on my way to my junior high school. They had that cherry taste. I think they're still around when I take my daughter to the dentist, sometimes I still see them, but now they have those organic types that are awesome as well, but they don't taste the same way. So these were like 25 cents, and they had that artificial cherry flavor, and I love it. So it really threw me back. And that's kind of going into the topic of this video, which is, how do you keep creative? How do you keep inspired? How do you tap into that creative energy that you have? And I think I really, really believe that almost everyone has a creative undercurrent in their personality. I think many times we don't know what it is. We haven't had time to figure it out. We haven't been guided to tap into it. I mean, there is a lot, but I really think everyone sort of has it. It's difficult at times to harvest it, that's for sure. Especially, it really depends on your approach to what you believe your art or your creativity kind of stems from. I can only talk for myself. There are 5 things that I feel and experienced really inspire me as an artist. These are the things that help me sort of stay creative. Number 1 is, and I know you've probably heard this before, but you have to keep a notebook. There's 2 reasons for that. And I keep several notebooks because I'm completely ADD and I need to make sure that I have like 3 of everything just in case I lose track of where I put it. The reason it's important is because you have to write down your thoughts. I remember doing some research like a few years back, and I think we as humans have like 6,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. If something really strikes you, jot it down because you're probably not going to remember it. You're probably not going to be able to recall it exactly the way that it came up, and especially if you get like that, that thought bubble, like boing, pop up above your head, and you're like, oh my God, that is so cool. Write it down. I also, I keep a notebook by my bed. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I will also jot down some ideas, and those, sometimes are pretty cool. Sometimes they're just nuts, but that's okay. Write down, like, think about your childhood or your life or your, or a special event, and write down something that really had an impact on you emotionally. Some kind, it doesn't have to necessarily be something negative. Think about a moment that just created some kind of a really strong emotion in you, and write that down. Reread them. Sometimes, combination of other things that you hear or things that you're reading will inspire and really create a special piece, whether it is an idea for a new project, if it is a piece that you want to draw, if it is a piece of music. Combining those ideas sometimes when you have them written down is just a lot easier. Another thing that I do is I reread a lot of classical literature, especially literature that I felt had an impact on me when I was younger. So I'm rereading some of the Dostoevsky. I just listened, I didn't read, but I have Audible, which I love. So if you don't have time to read and you're like do things around the house, this is another great way to do it. Not sponsored, but I love Audible. And you can listen to your old classic. And sometimes I found myself really looking and hearing things from a very different angle. Those classic pieces are definitely looked at from a different perspective from me now that I'm older. And I definitely write things down as far as some kind of, revelations or just interesting ideas from the books. Number 4 is find music that scratches your brain. My daughter says that to me all the time. There's certain kinds of music that just scratch your brain in the right way. For me, when I paint, I always have music on. Certain songs, certain notes, they just do something where the joy and the energy that I'm tapping into just flows out so much easier. Number 5 is a no-brainer. Find some time to be alone. I mean, like really, truly alone. If you can, I think it's kind of easier to do that now in our current environment, but when you're by yourself and you don't have any distractions and it is just you and your thoughts, I think that you're able to hear yourself in a much, much deeper way. And sometimes, all of our ideas and everything that we want to express as creatives are there. We just don't hear them because we're so distracted by everything around us. Again, this is like, not a light bulb moment. I'm sure many people know this, but I just want to, again, for me to reiterate, I need to be alone. I have a little spot that I go to that usually does that for me. But if you have the opportunity or you can arrange a way where you can be by yourself, you can be alone, you can listen to your thoughts and really hear your, I want to say like feel your feelings, hear your thoughts, really get in touch with what's been happening beneath the surface. Like even, with things that bring up memories. Talking about memories, I wanted to share today with you my latest collection that I did, which was literally inspired because my father has visited from Ukraine. I started to remember old cartoons that I used to watch when I was a kid, and we had these incredible In the 1970s, there was this really avant-garde kind of series of cartoons of Hans Andersen's fairy. And once again, we got rudely interrupted. Okay, part 3. When I was a kid, we had a series of Hans Andersen's fairy tales that really affected me when I was a kid. And they were The Little Mermaid, and then we had Swan Prince, the Snow Queen. I created these illustrations where I took all of that emotion and all of those amazing memories, and I made them into illustrations that I then created into a scarf. So I just wanted to share them with you. Hopefully offer some inspiration for others. So this is the Little Mermaid scarf. And again, the illustrations were created, and then these got printed on silk. They're really pretty. I love the colors. I hope you do as well. I still kept my dot design sort of going throughout the scarf, which I thought was kind of cool. The colors are muted, but at the same time have some pops. So this was the Little Mermaid, and then this is the Swan Princess. And I don't know if you're familiar with the story, but it was basically about a princess whose dad got remarried to an evil witch that hated the children. She tried to turn them into these ugly creatures, but because they were beautiful on the inside, especially the one daughter, it is going to